Hello, welcome again on a wonderful Monday at 2 o'clock. Seeing the Rabell Realty Group podcast. Here we are today. Rebecca walked in and she was like, why is it so muggy?
It is. My glasses like fogged up when I got out of the car.
But it's Florida in July, and that's kind of what to expect. I'd rather that than a freezing day in January or February up in like the Northeast. Or,
yeah, no cold weather. That's fine. I just, why can't we have it like a
because
nice
we're not in California.
82 and
we're in
sunny.
a happy place in Florida.
No, that's true. I do like the humidity. It makes I'm like, usually my hair looks much bigger.
My hair's always straight, so it doesn't do anything. Actually, the dry heat of the West was worse.
Yes, I don't like that. I always feel like
kills
a
my
lizard.
skin. I do. I was going to say, I feel like a
ugh.
reptile. It's horrible.
Yeah. Anyways,
All
we
right,
like the humidity.
Yes, thank you for joining, Kristen and Rebecca. Let's get on to it. Our Monday market moment. We have a lot to talk about today.
All right, welcome back. All right, we're going to move through this really quick so we can get on to more exciting topics. But what could be more excited than Gainesville real estate? So we will start in Gainesville. We have 89 active so far for the month of July, 75 pended, and 71 closed. Feels light to me.
Low.
I know, but
Woo! And they say
that
the prices are going to get lower. I mean, we're seeing some lower, but I was just talking today with the girls. I know you were there too. We'll talk about everything else we talked about later, but on the huddle call that we have, and there was still an offer or still a house that had 20 offers on it, and this was just this week. So
I don't know. I was showing houses this morning, and I saw one that I thought was at least 100,000 too high.
I mean, we're seeing both. We're seeing a lot of price drops in the higher ranges, but still anything under 300, you're going to get 9 to 20 offers or more or less. So there's still a lot of competition. We're not seeing prices drop with these higher rates, and the rates did kind of drop a little.
They did. I heard it was a little bit of an interesting week last week for rates. But anyways, over in St. Augustine, and remember, St. Augustine is weird.
Special.
Yeah, they're special. And so theirs are active for the entire year. So as of this year, 114 are still left as active in the St. Augustine Beaches area that we are focused in, with 15 pended and 12 closed. So their numbers have adjusted some. Yeah. I mean, they've had
they were in like the 30s before, and now they're back down to the 15s and 12s. So crazy.
Still quite a few actives, though. Down in Ocala and Marion County, so far for the month of July, they have 177 that are still active and on the market, with 157 pended houses or properties and 112 closed. So good job. I guess
going back, it still seems low, and I still was saying that there's a lot of offers on the anything under 300. But look at that in both of those, and even if you kind of peek over at Tampa, the actives there's more actives than closed.
Which has been different over the last 12 months. So, hopping down there to Tampa Bay, you've got 369 active with 297 pended and 226 closed so far for the month of July.
So, all I can say about now is it looks like it's a great time to buy still.
Yes.
We've got more activity, more active properties, and we're seeing a lot of cancellations with, we've dealt with this ourselves and seeing it out there on the market. I'm actually showing a house tonight because it came back on the market. It was something that is perfect for the buyers. So, talk to your realtors about, what they're seeing coming back on the market because it's out there and it's there for you. So that's what we could see about these numbers, right?
True story.
True story.
All right.
All right, let's get into our conversations for the day. We have a lot of them. We try to keep the topics low, but some of these topics are really interesting. So we have Gainesville's first RV resort.
We do have a fabulous realtor in St. Augustine.
Yes, who is there right now, Susan.
Send her some business.
Yeah. Santa Fe Palms RV Resort. We have the link on the bottom, and I think this is kind of fun. It's right around near Racetrack Road, Northeast 53rd, and I guess you could say Waldo Road. So it's really close to the Gainesville Raceway, which is great there's like 3 or 4 major races, including Gator Nationals. So what a great way to bring your RV in. There's a couple other RV places over there, but they're really just for that time. Like the Gainesville Raceway already has RV storage, and then where you can stay there, and then the Alachua County, it used to be the old JC's campground, so we used to work it, Alachua County's taken it over. It's still open, but I think it's kind of faltering. So this is going to be a great place for people to park for those large, races out the Gainesville Raceway. But also,
and the reason it's kind of bigger news in Gainesville is we don't have a ton of them. No. But I know our other markets like Ocala, you all have them because you have, WEC. St. Augustine has some.
I mean, they're over in Williston. There's some in Alachua. There's some in High Springs, so they're close. But this is actually Gainesville, and so it's really close for us. So it's great for anyone coming in. People are buying RVs rather than buying houses. I mean, I've had a seller quite a few years ago sell their house in Hamilton Heights. They used to live next to us and growing up, and now they have an RV and they park it in an RV park in North Carolina. Their view is of the mountains, and when the gas prices are low, they go travel around, and so it's great. They're retired, they're having fun. Also have a neighbor in our a condo we own, and she bought an RV and traveled around. She only made it halfway through her extensive travels of the United States because the gas prices got high, but she was able to work from Wi-Fi. That's what people are doing. So Gainesville has one.
I had a childhood friend who her husband and her 5 children, they lived in one for over a year because he worked on the road before pre-COVID, before things were more remote. And so they just packed up and homeschooled and traveled the country and had a great time. So
we had to stand one in the middle of our selling our house. This was pre-COVID and buying the new house. I had to stay in an RV park. Luckily, a friend of ours let us borrow theirs, parked it in the Alachua one. And, these RV parks have great Wi-Fi. It's not just, somebody asked me, well, why is this great? Isn't it sort of like a low-class people? Sorry to say that. But, is it? No. I mean, it's a little bit of everybody. And there's people that stay for 3 months, stay for a weekend. They're traveling around, stay for a week, us 40 days. Some stay a little longer. There's great Wi-Fi. There's usually a pool. Ours had animals. I know there's some activities that they're hosting there. So it sounds like a pretty fun place to stay if you're an RVer. And then, if you come for the Gator games, basketball or football.
I've seen some that have tiki bars and stores. And they have some pretty nice ones.
They'll have a bar, they'll have stores, so it's almost like a outdoor hotel. I don't know if you've ever, our family kind of RV parks, RVs sometimes, and we'll go to St. Augustine back in the day before.
St. Augustine has one with a cool bar right off of A1A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they have quite a few. So, a lot of fun things to do. So it's not just, this one's not really near water. And usually, the ones that we've been to are near water. But, just wanted to say this is fun. Great job. Tommy Waters, our builder, was one who actually brought it. So good job, Tommy and Carly Waters. We salute your decision. All right. So we're talking about something opening. Our next topic, something closing.
Yep. I saw this.
Staple of St. Augustine, Scarlett O'Hara's. It's been around for 50 years?
Yeah, I think I read 50.
Since before I was born. I remember being a Gainesvillian, a ACR, going to St. Augustine all the time, and you'd pass by this, and then we got a little older and was able to drink. You'd go in, and it's bar food, but it's great atmosphere. They always have had live music, and then their next door, Los Gatos, also had to close down. So I think that was a big shock to consistent visitors, so tourists and locals. The locals blame the tourists blame the local. Not really.
The letter they put out basically blamed the pandemic changed people's tastes and how they like to do things and the types of foods that they were eating.
And I think,
and inflation.
And I think also what I heard and read outside of their letter was, they did not renew their lease. But as many people know, we are in property management. We know, at least on the residential side, probably the commercial side as well, the leases are getting more expensive. So maybe...
And we've seen that with restaurants that have been in families before where nobody wants to take it over.
Right. So you're getting older. It's been 50 years. So these owners and maybe even their children are getting older. So, it's the end of a good time. And
it's an end of an O'Hara.
I like it. Good joke. So,
I'm here with all your dad jokes.
We bid you adieu, Miss Scarlett, and... Los Gatos. So thanks for the fun times, and hopefully something fun will come and replace you. With something old comes something new. So we'll hope for that. All right. Anything else? I don't know. We had
I've only been there once, so I don't really have any like feelings towards it.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, knowing, I haven't been there as many as some of these hardcore, locals or tourists who go all the time, but I've passed it every time I walk down the street. You always saw there was a good party there. So I don't have quite the heartstrings attached to it, but it's definitely something I've seen my whole life there. So, good night, goodbye, and thank you for the fun times. Okay. So, Rabell Reader shout out. Remember, I like to every once in a while bring a book on. So I thought this was really cute, especially because it's a small-time publisher. But it's the Wildlife of Florida Springs.
On the bottom.
Yes, it's an illustrated field guide to over 150 species. So all of Florida Springs, everything you can see. I think it's fun to go to the ocean and see those kind of animals. The rivers, lakes, and here's one about the springs. I haven't found all of this, but I love to collect these kind of books, and it's cute when they're drawn. They're illustrations. But I do have an otter story.
Those otters look so cute and
they're
friendly.
so adorable. But when you see one hunt down a baby duckling and eat it in front of you, your view of the otters becomes very different. And you realize they are actually hunting masters, and they are scarier than anything you've ever seen. So yes, we did get to watch one in Homosassa hunt down 4 baby ducklings and eat all of them in front of us. And the mama duckling and the daddy duckling were not very happy about that, and they were screaming all night long. So little otters can become nuisances.
When I found out that otters were predators, Zootopia.
Zootopia, yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, I always thought they were cute and cuddly because which I think it was one of the Finding Nemos. Or Finding Dory's or whatever, they made them look so cute and
they're all, they look cute. We were like, oh my gosh, look at that cute otter. Wait, what is he doing?
And now Mason will need therapy to get over the trauma of the otter. But yeah, then in Zootopia, I saw that they were actually predators.
They are. Hey, they have to eat. It's the circle of life.
That's
it's just,
I won't ruin the ending of the movie for you all, but Mr. Otter turns out just fine. And he returns to his nice, well-mannered person.
All right. Well, let's take our break. We'll get back, and we're going to talk Gainesville local politics. Have you all heard what's going on? Bet you have. Let's talk.
Hale Plantation is Gainesville's largest mixed-use planned community with more than 2,700 custom homes, townhomes, apartments, and condominiums on more than 1,700 acres. Hale boasts more than 50 neighborhoods to choose from in the community. There's a home for every budget and lifestyle. Hale Plantation comprises of nearly 13 miles of roads and walking trails, the Village Center, Public Market Center, shopping, dining, healthcare facilities, and more. The Hale Plantation Golf and Country Club features an 18-hole Gary Player golf course, a state-of-the-art tennis court, pools, recreation center, as well as venues for weddings and events. The Saturday Farmers Market brings live music, local produce, and handmade goods. Depending on your location in Hale, the community is zoned for A-rated Wiles and Childs Elementary Schools, Kanapa Hall Middle School, and Buchholz High School. Please visit buysellrebell.com to search for your new home in Hale.
Well, that was an appropriate middle video, if I do say so myself. Would you like to start this?
Sure.
City
Speaking
Commissioner
of
Queen,
Hale,
right?
Let's talk about, I would like to hear some public opinion if anybody wants to leave comments. Why would the people of Hale want to be annexed into the city of Gainesville?
I mean, why not? Let's come up. Let's see what, I know that there's not going to be a lot of people on here commenting while we're live. 2:00 has been a hard time, but I'd love to. Let's bring up Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a fun little, neighborhood app, and a lot of the neighborhoods that are surrounding areas get involved. And so we've got some from.
This could
Emerald
affect
Woods.
a lot of the areas around Hale.
Yeah. So let's see.
Once
That's
the
about
city gets its
other
claws
one.
in one part, it wants to go for the next. So.
All right. Somebody brought it up 4 days ago. Hale annexation by the city. Apparently, county residents are not immune from city zoning issues. Gainesville city staff surveyed Hale Plantation residents for interest in annexation into the city. And then there's see details below. So quite a few people we're happy about this person sharing this information because it has become one of the hot topics of.
And there's not a lot of information about it online.
There's really not.
So Hale does have GRU, and it is correct that you do get a reduction in your utility bill.
Right. Everyone in the city has a reduction from GRU.
Correct. But that comes with a host of other problems. I mean, let's just talk about county roads versus city roads. And let's talk about who's got better roads. Do you really want the city of Gainesville managing, kind of trying to attempt to manage more roads when they can't even handle the roads that they have?
And aren't there higher city taxes?
Correct.
So,
they have different
so
assessments
we might be
on their
saving
property.
in terms of GRU. Really? Are we saving that? But we're also raising the taxes that we pay in order to maintain all of this that they're adding on. So what do you think the guise is, if there is a guise?
I don't really know. I think that people don't understand the city. And I'll just be honest. I watch a lot of the city meetings, probably almost all of them. And I listen to the public comment and I listen to what the commissioners are saying. And I would suspect that the average person does not watch, does not listen, and does not understand what the city is up to. I think the city has bitten off way more than they could ever chew, at least this commission. We'll see what happens in August when we have elections, and then what happens, really truly happens in January when they're sworn in. If you live in the city, I highly, highly, highly suggest you wake up, pay attention, and get out and vote. Otherwise, you're going to have an interesting crop of people coming in to make your decisions for you. And I would just say, look at the past 10 or 15 years and let me know how that's working out for you. And why, when people are moving to Gainesville and looking for real estate, the first thing they say is, I want to be off the GRU grid.
This
And
is not pulling
I
you
don't
off.
want to live in
This
the
is
city of
pulling you
Gainesville.
in for sure. Now, I was looking for this because I had seen it. Someone inquired the city department that issued the survey to Hale, and they wanted to know why. Why did you send this survey out? What's the point of this? And what did you get from the survey? And the survey was created at the direction of the Gainesville City Commission to determine how people living in the unincorporated area feel about the level of services they are currently receiving, and to gauge interest from the neighborhoods about joining the incorporated area of Gainesville in the future. The City Commission is hoping the results will help them make decisions as to what areas of the unincorporated county may be more interested in potential future annexations. There are no plans at this point for any annexations, however. So you almost wonder.
It's exploratory. They're just checking to see.
And this is why there's not a lot of information online. You really started seeing this on Nextdoor, a little bit on Facebook, and that's kind of the only place.
I don't know why they would select
I looked
Hale.
on the city commission. Well, I think, again, going back to that, but I looked on the city commission and nothing came up
Right.
as being, on the record to talk about.
These
or
people
to
can't
consider.
even organize and get their own meetings straight. How
So
can they
here's the
manage
thing.
people who run their homeowners association the way? I mean, the people of Hale, and I feel fine saying this because we own our building in Hale. You live in Hale.
Right.
Like, we're all involved.
I didn't get a survey, by the way, and I have two properties there. The
Yeah.
company property and my property.
Yeah.
But it's not just Hale. I think the Hale people vocalized it more. And why they chose to survey Hale is because it is a more dense area.
Yeah,
But
that
there's a
could be.
lot of other places they were surveying to talk about annexations. I know that, so like my parents live in University Acres off of Newberry Road behind North Florida, or whatever they call it now. I'm sorry, it will always be North Florida to me. And they've tried to annex that into the city for a long time. And they've been unsuccessful. I also know there's areas in the Northeast they've been trying to annex into the city, and they're unsuccessful. So
There's a reason that people do not want to join you, Gainesville City Commission.
now, granted, if you bring a bunch of Springs, supporters, the new Springs area, then you're probably going to have different voters in the city, and maybe that will help save it. So that could be the only positivity, but I think you'd have more people against this annexation
How
into
do
the
you
city.
feel if you were a Hale Plantation resident? Would you
Or
want to be?
any of these areas? We don't have to say Hale Plantation if you're thinking, well, it's Hale Plantation, high-end hootie-tootie. but it's a bunch of other areas. If you were one of the neighborhoods annexed into the city, how would you feel? So we'd love to hear your comments.
I think they'd be mad as
I'd
hell.
love for you to, if you're watching this afterwards, if you're on YouTube watching this rather than Facebook, post your opinions on there for us, please. We'd love to revisit this at another time. Maybe next week, Patrick Dodds is going to be with you, right? And, he's a downtowner, a Gainesville city owner, so he can tell you what the benefits are. And we could talk about, that could be a continued discussion. But we'd love to keep bringing this up. Because this is Gainesville local politics, and this is where we live, and this is where we are. So the other huge one, and I think even bigger, you want to go on with that one also?
Go ahead.
I mean, that's the single family dwelling issue that's coming up, the elimination of the single family dwelling or zoning. So now they're saying if they eliminate that, now these neighborhoods that were always single family can be multifamily. So a house can be torn down, and is it up to 4?
I believe so. They want to change. I mean, this meeting isn't probably even going to happen until January. If you read the Gainesville Sun,
it was supposed to be Wednesday at 5.
Yeah, well, that's
the article has shown that they erroneously have that meeting, so they have to wait weeks and probably months, and so that will change everything. A lot of people are dissenting against it. City dwellers, county dwellers, pretty much everyone I've ever talked to is against it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I could see.
And I believe we would be the first city in Florida to actually do this, because you're going retroactively.
They're going back to what it originally was, and I will say I've seen
like the Porter's community is multifamily, but it's like going into, we'll just pull it off, Hale Plantation, and saying
which has an element of multifamily in it.
Okay, so let's go with Suburban Heights. Sure, a neighborhood that's been around for a long time. The 1960s, 70s. Fletcher went in, developed it, built a lot of the houses. It's been there for forever.
So they still have to go before and get approval. And I think people miss that. But what I don't like about it is that so many people are fear-mongering and saying, it's the students. I just want to take a moment and remind everybody that nobody would be in this town if the University of Florida wasn't there. Because this would basically be Archer.
It would still be Hogtown.
It would be Hogtown,
back
but it
in
would
the
be
day.
Archer 2.0. So everybody should probably be like kissing the feet of the students and be like, thank God you're here.
We would all be going to Ocala for Walmart and Publix.
No, I wouldn't be here. Let me just assure you. I would still be down in Tampa or anywhere else that I decided to move. But I can assure you I would never willingly pick up and move to a teeny tiny town in the middle of nowhere with nothing to offer.
Well, what I don't like about it is they're trying to push it because they're saying it's going to bring more affordable housing. And we know that's not true.
Right. That's a farce. The best comment I read on the Gainesville Sun's page, and I don't remember who wrote it, but they said that the best intentions, the best intentions to hell are paved with good intentions. So affordable, there is a lot of affordable housing in here. I believe it's Dr. Tanzer. I'm so sorry. I hope Sky's listening and can put it in the comments. Wrote a good piece on Gainesville urbanism. It's a Facebook group page that you can join. Great article about how there is a lot of affordable housing in Gainesville, but the city doesn't like it because it's older. So now they're going to, and there's a whole article on this on the Sun, which typically the Sun is not my cup of tea, but we still pay to play.
Still got to read it. Right?
Still got to read it because I like to hear everybody's opinion on it. But they have a whole article about how they're trying to basically force people to make them more energy efficient so it'll lower their GRU bills, but we're in a vicious cycle.
Is a cycle of making it more expensive.
Because the commission just keeps making the GRU bills higher because they need more money because it's their personal piggy bank.
And then it's more money for the landlords. Oftentimes a one-offer landlord, maybe they have 2 or 3 properties and now they can afford it. They have to raise the rents. So,
well, let me just tell you what happens in property management. We had a couple of city inspections. They continuously come back and find other little nitpicky things. I'm adding the bill up. And when the bill arrives at the end of the year, I'm going to divide it by 12. Let's just say it's $4,000 a month. I'm going to divide it by 12, and that's how much your rent payment is going to go up.
Yeah.
So the city of Gainesville is doing nothing to save money. Sorry, I know that's a terrible rant, and we probably shouldn't get into politics on Facebook.
You mean on the podcast? But
yeah, whatever.
I think it is important because it affects us as homeowners, as realtors, as buyers, as sellers. So these are all great topics. Now Rebecca is brought into her texting.
Sorry, the
Probably
office
because
keeps
of
calling
property
me.
management. But we are at the end of our half hour, so we would love to hear your thoughts on these major Gainesville local politic topics. We did have one other. We got the Florida grades back for
Oh,
the
Lord.
Alachua County, or the school system in Alachua County has not done very well. There's a lot of C's and D's. It's unfortunate to see. So we also need to work on that in Alachua County.
So Alachua, we have a lot of work to do. Everybody needs to buckle up and just vote. That would be great. And
to help make
and if
this a
you
better
don't
place.
buy the Gainesville Sun, which this is not really a plug to do them, you should also read the Alachua Chronicle and
All the other little surrounding
Washington
areas.
Post and all the papers. Read everything, right? I read a little bit of everything. But
know
we
what's
do
going
have a
on.
subscription to the Gainesville Sun, and if you don't read the comments section, you are missing out. It is the best entertainment you can get for $1.99 a month.
Yes. She'll call me up and be like, let me read you these. These are so fun.
Yes,
we
or
are
I'll send a
just
screenshot.
dying laughing. So got to watch it for the comments. Got to read it for the
I
comments.
know. I'm just there for the comments.
All right. So we'll go into our slides, but I do want to
yeah.
say congratulations. Favorite local property management company from our town, the Faves magazine, KNR Property Management, and they got our name right here. So
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot more
They
than you'll
announced
ever know.
KNR Properties, but they did write it KNR Property Management. So this is our second year winning in a row. We want to thank everyone who voted, because this is a vote only. You don't even have like an ABC, there's nothing to choose from. You type it in. So enough people typed it in, and then enough people went back and voted. So we thank everyone who voted.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
We appreciate
fun.
it.
2 years in a row. All right. So more about
So speaking
KNR
of
Property
KNR Property Management, things that help us get these awards, effectively managing your property, putting quality tenants in there, making sure you get paid by the third week of the month, and handling all these
reading the
strenuous-
news, right?
Yeah,
Knowing what's
following
going
the
on,
news, knowing what's going
helping
on with
you
your
as a
commission.
manager, as an owner.
Yep. We'll be alerting all of our county properties that you soon will be subjected to the ideals of the county of commissions that you have put in place. So everybody buckle up. It's going to be an exciting year. But anyways, if you have a property managed, we're here to deal with all that stress for you at 352-213-6410.
There you go. And after all this, if you're looking to join a team in real estate, or join real estate, or just move over from one company to another, you can contact us at 352-559-8820 or join at buysellrebell.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
And if you can't get enough of Kristen and Rebecca and the KNR team and the Rabell Realty Group team and everybody, you can check us out online at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Google My Business. And if you walk by the big window in Hale, sometimes we're acting goofy there too. It's like live social media.
It's great. And subscribe to our YouTube page. Thank you. We'd love to see you on there as well. Get all the fun videos. All right. And if you didn't know we already had a blog, we do. We've got a great blog, buysellrebell.com/blog. And we talk about local events, not always politics, though. What's going on in the
Actually, never
market.
politics.
Right. Great neighborhoods to live in. We have neighborhood guides. We have a lot of fun stuff. Also, great books to read. Tons of topics are there on the blogs. If you're looking for something, come find it on our blog. It's probably there.
And we just had a meeting about it, so it's about to get
it's
even
gonna
better.
get even better.
And we'd like to thank the Fiesta Media for hosting this podcast and all others. If you are interested in your own podcast, you can reach them at 352-327-5089.
All right, and join us next week. Actually, not us. We'll be out, but Rebecca will be here with our good friend Patrick Dodds from United Way, and he is past owner of Gainesville Title. We worked with him a lot. Yeah.
It'll be
watching.
an exciting time. I have no
I'll
doubt.
be watching,
I should not be allowed to
hopefully.
talk about politics. I am so sorry, everybody. And Sindel, we're
Hey,
so
it's
happy
good
you're
to
back.
have you. Yes, Sindel, it's good to have you back. We love to welcome all the babies. We've got,
know.
Sindel's baby, we've got Shama's baby, and we have Allison's baby. So we
I
have
know,
3
it's
babies.
like a little-
Only one has come in yet because the other 2 are even younger, and the oldest one is 2 months. So
Picture
it's
on the KNR
baby
Property
time,
Management website.
Baby time at Rabell Realty Group.
I know.
So
I'm so happy.
we'll see you next week on the podcast. Thanks for joining us this
Bye.
week. Bye.